Hi everyone! In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your card designs and cut them with the new CRICUT 2x2 card mats for your Maker and Explore machines. As always, you can find links and discount information in the description right under this video. Here we are in Design Space. To begin your card project, you're going to go to the top right and click on New Project. Click on My Projects. And I'm using a pre-launch version of Design Space, so you're not going to see the insert cards in these categories. But once the images have populated, which is later today, since the card mats launched today, you'll be able to see insert cards and cutaway cards in this drop-down menu. So as mentioned, I'm using a pre-launch Design Space. So I'm going to go back to Home, and this is another way that you can find cards. Click on Cards. I'm going to scroll down, and we see all kinds of cards. We see insert cards, cutaway cards. Your design goes here. This is a template for designing your own cards, and more insert cards. I'm going back up to the thank you cards. We'll scroll along, and I think I'll choose this one. I'm going to be making an R10 size. The R10 is the smallest size of card, and I'm just going to click Make It. So since I'm using an insert card and my machine is set to Maker, Design Space automatically set up the card mat for me. If you do see a pop-up with a choice of mats, you just want to choose on the card mat. As you can see, I can cut up to 4 cards on my mat. I can also take this and drop it wherever I want it to cut. If I only want to cut 1 card, let's say I've used this first square 20 times, but the rest of my mat is still in perfect condition, I can just drop the card anywhere that I want it to cut. I can increase the quantity and click Apply, go all the way to 4 and click Apply. Another thing that I wanted to mention to you is if you're using pre-designed insert cards or cutaway cards, you can only do 1 style of card per mat. If you're using your own designs or uploaded cards, I'll show you those in a separate video. Then you'd be able to mix up the designs on your card mat. You can also change the size of your cards right here in the drop down. We can make the cards larger than I'm using, but I'll go back to the R10 as that's what I'm going to use today. You'll also notice on my screen that all 4 cards are the same color, but as you know, that doesn't matter. On the mat itself, you can use whatever card colors you like. Mix them up if you want to use 4 different colors. That's fine too, you can do that. So I'm going to click Continue. I'm going to select Insert Card Cardstock. And I'm going to change my pressure to more. I'm changing it to more because these are brand new mats and they're very sticky. So I want to be sure that I get a good cut on my insert cards. But you'll see how that works for you when you try it. So I'm going to switch to my overhead camera and we'll cut some cards. And we're back and we're going to cut our cards. But before we do, it's very important that we line up our star rollers with the center of our mat. So you just want to place your mat on the machine so that you can gauge where the rollers go. And these are easy to move back and forth. Put them in the center, line them up with this. You're doing this because these mats are thicker than our regular cutting mats. And if you don't move your star rollers, you'll probably have lines across all your cards, and you don't want that. You don't want to waste your cards. So this is the very first thing I do, is line up my star rollers my white rollers so that they run down the center of these mats. So next we're going to place our cards. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it doesn't matter what color card you have on the screen. You can mix up your cards or do them all the same color. I find it's easiest to insert the card just by rolling it a tiny bit. So you have a gap, place the card in, and push them all the way up to the top and down. These mats are very sticky. Each panel will last up to 20 cards. That's really terrific. You'll get about 80 cards off of a mat, but they are very sticky, so you don't want to be rubbing your card on. I even took a swatch of t-shirt material and tapped them down a little bit before, just to control the adhesive a bit, so I wouldn't tear my cards. Once again, I'm just going to give it a slight little roll and tuck my card in. Bring it all the way up to the top and down. If you're a Cricut Joy user, you already know how to do that. We're going to turn our mat so that the top is being loaded. As I mentioned in the introduction video, always the top. If you try to cut your cards from the bottom end first, your alignment will be off and your cards will be off. So once again, you don't want to waste your cards, so you don't want to do that. I'm going to load my mat. I just have it gently pushed up against my rollers and I'll load my mat. Now, I'm going to push my machine back because it's very close to my mic and it's going to be loud, and press go. So while that's cutting, I'll show you some of the cards that I've already done. These are the covers for the mat I'm using. So these are some of the larger cards that I worked on. Take off these covers. I have two more to remove and to weed. So you just want to lift them gently. Don't rip at them because you don't want to tear your cards. And there we go. I have one little piece that's stuck in. So I'm just going to use my pick to remove it. And there's another one, super easy. I wanted to show you this though because I wanted to mention when you're cleaning your mats, you always want to scrape towards the top or the bottom of the mat, never to the side, because there are little crevices here and you will get the finer cuts stuck in these little crevices and it will be a little difficult to get them out. So always scrape towards the top or towards the bottom. We're making good progress on these. The first two are cutting. Let's lift this one also. Gently. This one has a lot of cutting all across the card, so I'm being careful not to rip anything as I lift them. There we go. And I have a little heart stuck again. I'll just pop that out. And that looks good. Isn't that great? So all I have to do is add the inserts, and I've got 4 of this style of card cut at one time. Really terrific. So I'll clean this mat a little later. But as I mentioned, always scrape towards the top or the bottom so that you don't get pieces stuck in the side crevices. I'll do that later. Okay. And we're done, so I'll just unload this mat and take a quick look at these. Well, these are cute. I like these little cards. Very cute. There we go. We have our extra pieces to pop out. And there we go. All we need to do is add our insert, and we have a terrific little card. So just a quick look at some other cards that I've done. These are the 4 3/4 by 4 3/4, the new size. That's exclusively for these 2x2 card mats. This is a design I did myself in Design Space. It's very easy to design your own cards, and my next video I'll show you how to design them for cutaway cards and insert cards, and also how to write inside your cards on the card mat. If you're a Joy user, you might already know how to do that, but for those who have never done it before, I think you'll find the video interesting, so you want to watch for that video. So these are the 4 3/4. Here's an original Joy size that I did also on the 2x2. An original Joy size. We have lots of those. And of course, these large R40 cards that I showed you earlier in the video. These also are exclusive for the 2x2 mats. So I hope this video will help you get started. Don't forget to watch for my next video. We'll design our own cards for cutaway and insert cards, and how to write inside. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.